All right, this is an emergency podcast to all Brighteon users. I apologize that I'm not able to give you a video for this right now. The schedule is so intense. This is about censorship. As you've seen, Gab has been essentially deplatformed. Andrew Torba, the founder of Gab, has been under relentless attack by the media. They're blaming Gab for the synagogue shooting because the crazed, deranged, murderous shooter apparently had an account on Gab, and he posted a message on Gab that said, "I'm going in." I think it was "Screw the optics, I'm going in." That's what he posted 4 minutes before he started the shooting. Well, now, how is this Gab's fault? It's ridiculous. It's absurd. By the same logic, you could say, well, the guy used the internet before the shooting, and thus we should ban the internet. Or the guy wore Nike tennis shoes before the shooting. We should ban Nikes. I mean, it's absurd. But it shows the new pattern of deplatforming. And Brighteon, or Brighteon, however you want to pronounce it, that's been suggested to me to pronounce it that way. I appreciate your suggestions. Is absolutely, Brighteon is going to be next. And it's so easy for the false flag deep state operators to pull this off. All they have to do is, once they get their patsy ready, ready to go carry out a mass shooting, then they just create an online account at whatever service they want to destroy. So they create an account on Gab, and then they go do the shooting. And then they blame Gab, and the memo goes out to everybody in the media. Oh, it's Gab's fault. It's Andrew Torba's fault. Andrew Torba must be the murderer. No, how absurd. I mean, the guy had an account on Facebook, too. Does that mean Zuckerberg is responsible for the shooting? And why all this selective censorship? Why isn't Facebook shut down? The guy had an account on Facebook. Why isn't Twitter shut down? The guy had an account on Twitter, too. Oh, why is it only Gab? You see, so this is all about shutting down alternative services. And GoDaddy even told Gab that they would no longer even host their domain. And that's in addition to the actual code hosting company. I think it was Joyent. I think that was their name. They said, no, you're not even going to be able to run code on our servers. So Gab is offline right now as I'm recording this. And they're going to be offline for some period of time. But they'll be back. And I haven't yet spoken to Andrew Torba about this. I've tried to reach out to him, but he's insanely busy, as you can imagine. I hope to be able to speak with him soon about this, because all of us who are independent free speech supporters, we need to stick together and support each other. But anyway, the reason that I need your help is we need to brainstorm some solutions for this, all of us. We want this platform to succeed, Brighteon. We survived the name change, and thank you for your patience as we went through that name change. Formerly Real.video, trademark attorneys got in the mix and said, no, you're not going to be able to ever trademark that or defend that. You're going to get sued. You're going to get whatever. And so we switched to Brighteon.com. We now have the trademark filing in process. So we will be able to protect our trademark. We will have that intellectual property side nailed down. And I know that not everybody loved the name Brighteon.com. And when we announced that name, it was like all of a sudden everybody was a domain name expert and everybody was a trademark attorney expert. The truth is, it's very difficult to find a name that is available in both the trademark database as well as a domain name, and something that doesn't have a meaning that could lock it down, because we want the video community to be able to support video content of all kinds, from natural health and home gardening to politics and science fiction even, plus technology, science and medicine, all these things. So it has to be a name that doesn't limit the topics. So Brighteon.com actually, I think, is a pretty darn good name. We got the domain name, the trademark was wide open, and on top of that, it has a positive meaning about the future of humanity, which is what we're trying to support through information, education, sharing wisdom, protecting endangered knowledge, all of these things that we all share in our beliefs. So we survived the name change. Now we know that Brighteon is going to be targeted next by whatever next false flag shooter they drag out of the woodwork. They're going to do the same playbook that they've used against Alex Jones and Gab. They're going to use that playbook against Brighteon. So we need to know, we need to brainstorm together as a community, what are the solutions that we can do? And I'd like to invite you to post a video with us or send us a support ticket with your ideas. If you post a video, then put something meaningful in the title so we know this is a suggestion. You might put a Brighteon suggestion somewhere in the title so we know. And we will review all of your videos and all your support ticket comments. And we'd like to know from your point of view what you think we should do to help protect the community and keep us alive and online as we move forward. Now, let me mention some possible ideas, and this isn't by any means a complete list. You may have ideas that are better than this. This is just what comes to mind personally. So there's first of all, we want to protect free speech, including the freedom to criticize others. Now, we ban illegal speech, so if somebody comes on the website and starts screaming that they want to murder all Jews, for example, then yes, they're gone. They get banned immediately. We, from day one, we haven't allowed anything like that. But as long as it's not illegal, it's acceptable for people to come on and say that they criticize somebody of a certain religion. That's not illegal to criticize a religion. And that's part of free speech, and we hope to protect that. So we don't want to have some anti-free speech policy that says, well, you can't criticize Jews, Well, there might be somebody, we got to protect the right to criticize different people of different religions and different philosophies and so on. It's called debate. It's called debate. And we want to protect that free speech right. So I strongly resist any idea of just purging so-called hate speech content because the definition of hate speech is so wishy-washy. Our current rule is we ban illegal content, but we encourage public debate and we encourage public discourse. And we would prefer that people keep it civil, and we don't want to hear people being racist if there are racists out there on the network. I don't know if there are. We don't want to see that, but frankly, unless they violate the law, it's not justified to ban them. The answer to bad actors who are limited in their view and who have a racist point of view about anybody, black people, white people, Jewish people, whatever, the answer to that is to enlighten them with more speech, to have more people speaking out in favor of universal concepts of human dignity. And that's what we truly support, is to say that every human being has a soul and consciousness. Every human being is valuable. Every human being has dignity. And I would hope we live in a world where we can respect that dignity in every individual. But sadly, not everybody operates that way. So that's the first thing. Another idea is we could try to raise a lot of money, like a couple of $1 million, and use that money to build all of our own components, because right now the site relies on other third-party components and various hosting providers for various components. It uses an ecosystem of the internet and video transcoding providers and so on. And because of that, it is dependent on those providers. Now, with enough time and money, we could build most of those components ourselves to become truly independent. But even then, number one, that would take a tremendous amount of money. A couple of $1 million. I guess that's not a lot of money these days, but I think we could do it for about $2 million. It's just my guess. But it would take time, like maybe a year, to get that done correctly, and it might be glitchy. But it would give us more independence in the long run. So in order to do that, we'd have to do some kind of a fundraising effort, like what Gab did. I think Gab raised, seems like a couple of $1 million. I don't want to issue like crypto tokens or anything like that, because I don't want to make promises that we can't keep about cryptocurrency. But if we did a fundraising, donations, and had people pledge to support us, we could maybe put that out there as a test and just see if there's enough support to build that kind of an independent tech system. And if we don't get the support, then we don't build it. If we do get the support, then we do build it. So that's another idea. A third idea would be to, to change our policies to be more restrictive, but I don't want to do that. I guess that's kind of the first point. I don't want to do that. I would rather that we have a whole lot of free speech where even bad ideas are allowed to exist so that people can see that there are bad ideas out there. Just because someone posts a video and exposes themselves as being an ignorant racist, let's say, doesn't mean that we should ban that voice. We should allow the rest of the community to see what an ignorant racist this person is, because it discredits racism. You see, I mean, if you hide all the bad speech, then you're pretending that it doesn't exist, and you're pretending there are no racists. But if you allow racists to expose themselves as being racist, then at least society knows, yep, there's still a few of these people out there. They're ignorant, they're absurd, and you can point to that video and say, look how absurd these people are. Thank God that we are more enlightened than that. And so I think that censoring those voices is the wrong approach. Certainly we don't want to celebrate those voices. It's more like we want to mock them. You know, we want to show how stupid they are. But it's important that we see that that part of society does exist, because it's only from that that we can really understand the importance of being more educated, aware, enlightened, and so on. So changing our terms of service to ban whatever speech that we don't like doesn't seem like a very good idea at all. And besides, who's the judge of that? Who gets to decide what speech they don't like? You know, that's why our current guidelines focus on what's legal versus illegal. If it's illegal, we ban it. If it's illegal, for the most part, we embrace it. Although the one exception we have is the gaming videos that we've had some criticism for that too, but whatever. We're just not a website for gaming videos. This is not a gaming website. So it's not about censorship, because YouTube doesn't censor those videos. It's just that this is the wrong platform for that. Brighteon is about videos that impact humanity, videos on topics that are important, debates and discussions that really matter for the future of our world.
Learn more at healthrangerreport.com.
Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.